get another one. Suggs on the run out. This is where he's dangerous. Oh, what a finish.
Oh, my God.
College basketball's top-ranked team on the court Friday. Gonzaga having no problems getting by Auburn for a 90-67 win in the Fort Myers tip-off tournament. It's a happy Thanksgiving weekend for college hoops fans. Men's basketball is back after a near 9-month hiatus. 1 week before last season was abruptly canceled, we visited Baylor University, at the time projected to be a #1 seed in the men's tournament. I recently checked in to see how Baylor and the rest of the universities around the country have prepared for this new and unprecedented season. A new college basketball season's underway with a look and feel unlike any other.
Can you take me through just some of the things that are different because of COVID protocols?
It's a long list.
Baylor head basketball coach Scott Drew points to social distancing first.
You know, everybody's just spread apart, not as much interaction, high fives and hugs and things like that, that as a coach you always preach to, that makes a successful team.
There's also a COVID-friendly locker room and testing a minimum of 3 times a week. The NCAA released a full set of safety guidelines for teams at home and on the road.
The COVID regulations, those things definitely have kept us on our toes.
For head coaches like Drew, used to having control, the pandemic in some ways is the great equalizer.
Once one person gets the virus, now the direct contact can take out a team real quick. As a coach, you can live with if a person does everything right and somehow gets it, that's probably going to happen.
Turns out it happened to him. Sunday, less than a week after we spoke, Drew announced he'd tested positive for coronavirus, saying the good news is the rest of our team tested negative. Florida State head coach Leonard Hamilton is also worried about the health of his team.
Before and after every practice, we talk about the pluses and the minuses of losing your discipline. For instance, we had a film session evaluating our scrimmage, but the first thing on the screen was all the schools that were in pause because of the pandemic. And then on the next column, it was all the football games that had been canceled.
For Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo, the coronavirus battle is personal.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I will say it's come in waves where I felt better a couple days, then worse.
In 25 years as the Spartan head coach, Izzo's taken his team to 8 Final Fours and won a national championship. But COVID sidelined him for about 2 weeks this month.
I hope nobody kids themselves. You can't live your life worrying about everything, but this is no joke either. I have no idea. I got it. We test every day, and we're in our own little bubble, and yet it happens.
And leave it to the 8-time National Coach of the Year to still find some good to come from the pandemic.
In the Big Ten, we've worked with each other, trying to keep our facilities safe, the camaraderie amongst the coaches. There's no Michigan State rivalry right now. This is a one-off year.
He says the key to success this year is dealing with all the distraction.
Try to tell a 20-year-old, okay, you're in jail now. You can't come out. You can only do this. I don't think we realize the mental strain that puts on people. Thanksgiving, we're not having our guys go home. Christmas, we're not having our guys go home.
They just want to play.
Dana O'Neill covers college basketball for the sports journalism website, The Athletic.
Everyone is still so bummed, for lack of a better word, about what happened last year, about how everything ended, and they want to try to get this season in.
That includes the NCAA Tournament. Its cancellation last year took a financial toll across college athletics, with nearly $400 million of lost revenue.
I have said all along, the mantra has been get to March, because you can't cancel it twice. Financially, for us, I think emotionally and mentally, the goal is to find a safe way to have a 68-team tournament in March, and I think they will do everything to get there.
It's what college basketball coaches are hoping for, too.
We all start the season, I think we got to change. That's what you work for. And it gives you so much motivation throughout the whole year.
This year, even with the pandemic, that's no different.
No. But you realize that this year is going to be challenging. And you just have to be prepared for it mentally.
March will still be March Madness. There's nothing like it. But I think it'll have a little different meaning. It'll be an accomplishment to get there instead of just winning it. But I bet you once we all get there, and if we're one of those 68 teams, turn up the juice, baby.
That is always right on that. So here's what the NCAA is doing to try to get there. They've made it so it's just 13 games you have to play to be tournament eligible. That's down from 27, and they want to play in one place. This is known. They're talking with the state of Indiana. Indianapolis already set to be the site of the Final Four. So basically, the entire tournament would be there, select locations. It's not a real bubble, but it's as close as they can get to a bubble. They hope to have more news on that front in December, but it's all about flexibility. Baylor, who we talked with, already had to cancel a couple games. Then they got into a different tournament this weekend. That's what you have to do.
Wow. That was a great primer. Thank you, Dana. Now here's a look.